Well, let's get some analysis now with Professor Sami Al-Arian, who's the Director of the Centre for Islam and Global Affairs at Istanbul Zaim University. He joins us now from Istanbul. Really good to have you with us, Professor. Let's talk about the unfolding humanitarian crisis in Gaza. We know that that enclave has been under an Israeli blockade for the last 17 years, and now it's all but cut off completely from essential supplies of electricity, water, food and medical equipment. Can you tell us what your reaction is to what we're seeing in Gaza right now?
Well, what we have before our own eyes is a settler colonialist state that has a supremacist and racist ideology, and it's trying to replace and displace the native lands and get them out in the second Nakba. We are dealing with genocidal policies, unfortunately being supported by the major countries around the world. They are perpetrating crimes against humanity. Your reporters have witnessed the horrific scenes where hundreds and thousands of innocent civilians, children, women, elderly, not only they have been bombarded to pieces, the injured who have no place to go, the hospitals who cannot operate, people asked to evacuate where they have no means of transportation, no places to go. And the whole world is watching like this is a horror movie. No one is really trying to lend any kind of hand. This grip that Israel has on America and the rest of the world is mind-boggling. How could this happen in the 21st century? Where is the conscience of the world? I mean, you are watching, everybody is watching this horrific film day after day after day, but it's not fiction, it's reality. And yet the world powers are basically paralyzed to move. I mean, it's horrifying, and it's really shameful on the countries and the world community to just sit by because a tiny nation that is trying to impose its will on the rest of the world.
And Professor, there are fears that the conflict may escalate even to an even worse situation. The aerial bombardments by Israel are already the deadliest in Gaza's history, but now there are fears of a possible ground invasion by Israeli forces. No indication of when or even if that might happen. But how worried are you about the potential impact of an Israeli ground invasion into Gaza?
Let's not forget that Israel could not have done this destruction upon people except for America's support. The bombs are American, the tanks are American, the rockets are American, the ammunition is American. They are acting like merchants of death, and yet people are dealing with them as if they are honest brokers, where they are totally dishonest. They don't even hide the fact that they are partners in this criminal act that Israel is perpetuating. I'm extremely worried, not only that more death and destruction and mayhem is going to befall the Palestinian people, particularly children, women, and elderly, and the weak and the injured, but also the whole future of Gazans is in jeopardy. Do I think it's going to happen? I think it's in all likelihood going to happen, but is it going to be an easy ride, an easy picnic for the Israelis? I don't think so. I think the Palestinian resistance has shown, not only for the past week, but throughout the history of this conflict, that they are not willing to bend to Israeli will, that they would like to fight, they will fight until the bitter end. If it wasn't for the heroic resistance of the Palestinian people, this conflict would have ended long time ago. There were many peoples in the past, people who have been used through genocidal policies, Native Americans, people in South America, different parts of the world, who no longer live because the settler colonial powers were able to impose their will and get rid of them. That has happened. That has not happened for the Palestinians, and I think the continuation of the Palestinian resistance will over time win their freedom, their independence, and their self-determination.
Okay, Professor Sami Al-Arian, we will have to leave it there. But thank you so much for sharing your analysis with us on TRT World.